not tolerate at all. We will show it to the government. You just open this barrier, otherwise we will do it. हम यही कोशिश कर रहे थे कि हम लड़के आगे आए या आगे आना चाहते हैं.
Live images coming to you from Raisina Hill. Tear gas shells are being fired once again after a few minutes of calm. There is violence once again. Tear gas is being fired. You can see a person who has fallen down. We don't know if that is an injury. They're being taken away. This is a war zone, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raisina Hill, the most secure zone in the national capital, a VIP zone where the Prime Minister's office, Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Ministry of Defence, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and several other key installations are present. But it is no longer an off-limit zone for thousands of angry protesters. These are live images that we're getting to you here on Headlines today. The government, we should remind you, has still not sent anyone out to calm these protesters and calm nerves, because there are thousands of people here who are extremely angry, incensed, frustrated and upset by the lack of engagement, the lack of sincerity that the UPA government has shown in the face of such historic landmark anger against an issue as emotive as sexual crimes against women, embodied in the entire anger that has surrounded the Delhi gang rape of a 23-year-old medical student. I want to go across to our political editor, Javed Ansari, who is at Vijay Chowk at this time. Javed, we understand that the violence has picked up again.
I am at some distance, I must concede, I am at some distance, but I could hear tear gas shells being being burst, and I'm now told that the police has also locked charge and tried to push back the crowd which is trying to surge towards Rashtrapati Bhavan. This is the second time in the day that this has happened. We were hoping that after the first round, tempers will cool down on both sides and people will realize this is a time for restraint. This is a time for the Delhi police to act with restraint. This is also a time for the angry crowd that has gathered here to act with restraint. Nothing should be said or done which would take the focus away from that great tragedy. The need of the hour is to that everything is done, that there is no repeat of what happened, and that the guilty are brought to book. Justice is done at the earliest. There's huge anger amongst the crowd. There's a large turnout, and tomorrow we gather there'll be a larger turnout. And people are talking of we want justice, and there are all kinds of demands that people are raising. Somebody wants chemical castration. Others are talking of Phansi. But the fact of the matter is that there is a law in place. There is a law of the land, and that process has to be gone through, irrespective of the level of anger and bestiality that has been brought to bear on that poor girl who's battling for her life. And that is something which everybody involved needs to keep in mind. There is no, because if there is violence, if it becomes the police versus crowd thing, then the focus will turn away from the culprit and the barbarity of the crime. Something needs to be done immediately, and political parties, I can now see political parties getting involved.
Yes.
They should stop fishing in troubled waters. None of the political parties can adopt a moral high ground of this, because across the country there are different political parties ruling the state, and in most of these states these crimes happen. This is an issue which needs to be tackled on a war footing, and everybody must put their heads together and try and ensure that there is no repeat, and those who indulge in such things are made an example of.
Well, they need to be made an example of, except that there is this chronic inertia from this government. It's almost like the government doesn't know how to respond to this situation. On social media, we can see people calling for the Prime Minister to go there, or to get onto television, or for other ministers to get there and quell the nerves of the people there. I want to get in a word. Thanks, Javed, for getting us those updates. I want to go across live now to our two reporters, Aditi Anantanarayanan, who is at Vijay Chowk, and also Atir Khan, who is on Raisina Hill. Aditi, you've been there for a few hours now. Has a single government official, minister, any kind of person who holds any kind of power in the government, has anybody come there to try and speak to these people?
Shiv, not at all. Not a single person has come here to talk to this crowd who is angry, they are agitated and they're furious, especially after the Delhi police started lathi charging them, started shelling tear gas at them. And again, just few seconds back, there was lathi charge yet again, and there was tear gas shelling. It is just that people are getting even more frustrated and even more angry because of the way the police is resorting to them, the way the police is behaving with them. And if honestly, if one person, if one official would have just come in front of this and at least spoken to them, I'm sure at least this crowd wouldn't have got so violent that it is right now.
Well, that's a question everybody's asking. What is the government waiting for? What are they planning to do? How are they planning to contain this? What if these people don't go home? Are they counting on their chronic cynicism that these people will leave because this is just an ad hoc protest for many of these people? Is that a risk this government is willing to take? Is it willing to gamble with the collective anger of thousands of young people? Do they not understand the anger of young people in this country? Do they not believe that the issue that they're so angry about is important enough to warrant their immediate and compassionate intervention with a sincere promise that they will act and will be held accountable and will be subjected to the same standards that they hold for the Aam Aadmi, for the public, for the people out there, common young Indians who've left everything and made their presence felt there at Vijay Chowk and Raisina Hill. Let's get word in from our reporter Atir Khan, who's on Raisina Hill right now. Atir, this is the sixth or seventh time today that tear gas has been deployed. Lathi charges are happening. What are you seeing in front of you? How bad is it?
Well, that's right, Shiv. This thing seems to be going out of control. The reason being that there's no dialogue between the students and the representatives of either police or the government. The reason being that at the moment there are short fuse. They're quite angered, and we can see the manifestation at Raisina Hill at the moment because they are really agitated with their the placards which shows zero tolerance. So they say it is enough is enough, and it is not their headache if the laws are not reviewed. There's no death penalty for rape victims. The police is insensitive. All they're asking is for security of women in the country. However, they want to convey this message, but somehow things are going out of control because they're also turning violent in a way. If they are hurling things at the police, the security personnel, they're passing remarks. They are also trying to guard. As you know, this is a highly sensitive place, Raisina Hill.
Yes.
Security is not taking any chances yet. They are being careful while dealing with them.
Right, they are being careful while dealing with them, but that's not helping. The anger that we're seeing only intensify. It's 3:10. It's 10 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. An entire day lies ahead before anything can actually happen, before darkness falls. But what is the government waiting for? That's the loud question that everyone there is asking. Why are they waiting for things to go from bad to worse? Why can't they send someone there to meet with these people? If the Minister of State for Home Affairs, RPN Singh, is out on Delhi streets, going about incognito, conducting spot checks, assessing security on public transport, what is stopping him from coming to Vijay Chowk, to India Gate, to Raisina Hill, and speaking to the people there? He can come there with his own personal security by all means. Any minister who thinks that they risk bodily harm if they come there can come there with their own personal security and just speak to these people. They are not violent people. These are young Indians who just want answers, who want to be reassured that something will go in the right direction as a result of all this anger that needs to be channelized. I want to get in a word from Headlines Today's Ruchika Tomar, who's reporting for us live from India Gate now. Ruchika, what are the scenes you see around you? We're getting live images on 3 cameras for our viewers from India Gate, from Raisina Hill, as well as right there on Rajpath and Vijay Chowk. It's the most sensitive VIP zone in the country. This is a historic movement, Ruchika.
Well, Shiv, as you were just pointing out, you were telling our viewers about the second instance of tear gassing again at protesters who were there at Raisina Hill. The silence of our leaders, that is what is inexplicable. And many of us, many of the protesters, in fact, who've come here, they're feeling absolutely let down by the leaders. I just want to take you through this poster. This young girl has come with this poster, which has pictures of our women leaders. She's asking, in India, where top leaders are ladies, the daughters are compelled. That's the question this young girl is asking. Let me in fact speak to some of the people who have been here on their own. They're not part of any sort of political group or any women's organizations. They just feel so compelled to come out on the streets and make their voices heard. Tell us, are you feeling let down by our political class? What is it that you're demanding? Why are you here?
Okay, yes, of course we're let down by a political class. We're let down by the entire system. It is not for women. Okay, we are all here because we can't sleep at night thinking about this poor child who's fighting for her life. That brave girl, I pray for her. I hope the whole country is praying that she gets better. The government or all of us should set up a fund to help her get the best medical treatment. In Leeds, I believe in England, there is intestinal replacement going on. And if we need intestines from 6 brain dead people, we have them in custody. You know, find out their blood type, take out the small intestines and put it into that girl. Okay? And we have several other demands. One is the curriculum of the school should be such that respect for girls should be taught from an early age, like my friend was saying, like environment studies. Secondly, mothers, sisters, grandmothers, educate your sons, brothers and grandsons, okay? And if you cannot teach them to respect women, please keep them home after dark, okay? So that we can go out after dark, okay? That's the second big thing, because we are not the problem, they are the problem. Keeping all the women at home will not solve the problem. Keeping potential rapists at home will solve the problem. And please, could the parliament consider death penalty as a punishment for future rape cases, because unfortunately they'll continue to happen, and castration. Please pass a bill in parliament. Many civilized societies have castration. If you cannot hold yourself, you're welcome to have your urges, but when they affect us, we don't want them. So if you cannot control your urges, chemical castration, or if you're too squeamish for physical castration, chemical castration.
All right. You've said it as it is, and you have in fact made quite a few valid points there. She's not the only person who's come here with, some specific ideas that she has, specific solutions that she says that we need to take, specific steps that we need to put in place to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Because, this protest here, the number of people who've gathered here, it isn't just for a day. They're saying they're going to stay put. They are going to ensure that they hear from their leaders. They're not going to go just because there are tear gas shells that are lobbed, just because there's lathi charge. In fact, we're still seeing a surging number of crowds that are gathering here. We also have some college students. What is it that you have to say? What do you want to say to your leaders?
Basically, what I want to say is we need to have, our country needs changes in our laws, and laws should be framed in such a way so that these potential rapists are scared. A fear should be created among these potential rapists so that future rapes do not happen. And also eve teaser, exactly. Eve teasing is something which happens almost on a daily basis. And
it's such an archaic term. Many would actually object to it being called eve teasing. There's nothing funny about it. We have BJP leader Nirmala Sitharaman joining us on the phone line. Thank you, Ms. Sitharaman, for joining us. There aren't many political leaders who are willing to speak to people. There is a massive outpouring of anguish and anger out on the streets. Nobody from the government today has come out and talked about, at least from the Delhi government side, has come and talked to people. Considering the anger is only mounting, there has been lathi charge on people. What would you say about the government action against the protesters today, ma'am?
You're right. Last few days, and particularly today since the morning, we've seen a lot of people completely self-motivated, driven, coming and occupying the Rajpath, voicing their concerns, and it is genuine outpouring of anger. And all of us understand, and we are with them in that. But certainly, it is time that the government does not deal with the people through police. They have to come out, speak to them, and give them concrete assurances as to what they would like to do. The Delhi government should come out, and also the Ministry of Home Affairs should speak up. It's high time, because from the morning all
right. But as an opposition party, you also have a responsibility. Miss Sitaraman, I'm sorry. I would like to ask you, this anger is not directed at just one political party or just the government. It's against the entire political class. Many questioning that the political parties do not have the moral standing to, in fact, talk about justice for rape victims, considering that parties such as yours, in fact, give tickets to people who have serious charges of sexual assault or even rape against the candidates. Why do you feel them?
Absolutely. These are very pertinent questions, and all of us will be in a position to answer it, and we should answer it. We are not undermining the importance of these issues.
Sitaraman of the BJP agreeing with a direct question there that these are things that need to be thought about. Why do political parties still give tickets to people accused of rape, of domestic violence, of murder, of dacoity, of extortion, of terrible crimes like those? Why do political parties indulge in infinite hypocrisy and then protest against the Delhi gang rape?